Hi everyone, and welcome to my wardrobe, where today I'm answering your questions about wardrobe organisation, wardrobe storage, and a few personal things about my wardrobe that you've asked me. So as you know, I put the call out, a brief call out on Instagram for your questions, and what I've done is I have basically summarised all the questions into 4 main categories, because obviously there are a lot of similar questions. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to see how we go for time, but I'm thinking, like a couple of my other Ask the Stylist series, I might break them up into a few different segments so they're not too long and boring. So what I've got today is I've actually got the questions printed out here, and the first topic we're going to cover today is general wardrobe storage, because that seemed to be almost the biggest question: how to store your clothing, where do you store them? And all I'm going to do today is basically answer your questions in terms of A, how I organise my wardrobe, but B, also how, when I'm working with clients, how I teach them to organise their wardrobe also. Because at the end of the day, it's about using what you've got, making the most of what you've got. Probably much to many of your surprise, I actually don't have a huge wardrobe. It's a fairly small space. I don't have the luxury of a beautiful walk-in wardrobe. This is pretty much it behind me. Okay, there's a little bit on that side as well. So I might take the camera off the tripod for bits and pieces, just so I can show you how I do, when I'm answering the specific questions, how I actually do organise my wardrobe. But regardless of your wardrobe space, it's all about maximising the space, obviously being really clever about how you store your clothing, so that you know what you've got. Because I think when clothing is most visible, when you can see what you've got, when you can have as much hanging as possible, it just makes getting dressed so much easier. Okay, so let's start off with, so I've got my questions just stuck on the back of my wardrobe. So let's maybe start with a question that was quite popular, which was basically, how do you store your things like your belts, your shoes, scarves, accessories, and things like that? I actually don't wear a lot of scarves these days, apart from in winter, wintry scarves. So I do have those in a box. You're going to hear me refer to a lot of little hidey holes in terms of places, great storage ideas that you don't have to have necessarily everything in your wardrobe, but you know where they are. And so for my winter scarves, I basically have them in a box under the bed in the spare bedroom. And I know that, you know, obviously in this weather I don't need them, but I know where they are when it comes to winter. Let me just show you. So the scarves that I wear in summer are mainly scarves that I might wear attached to a handbag, maybe attached as a belt, or maybe just something more creative. I might wear it around my neck. So I'm thinking more silk scarves. And how I store these, so they don't take up a lot of space, and I haven't got heaps, but I've got some really beautiful ones, and I actually just have them hanging on one of my felt coat hangers so that they don't slip, and that I can sort of see them quite easily. In fact, I often have them just hanging on the back of my wardrobe. I will show you later on another thing that I have always used to maximize my space is I have hooks on the inside of my wardrobe doors. You can sort of see just one here. I often just use this one to remind me of maybe something I want to wear rather than I forgetting about it. But basically on the back of this door, I'll show you later, and on the back of this door where I've got my belts hanging, I have a row of hooks. So things like this, that's really very fine, it doesn't take up much room. In the summery months, I'll actually just have it hanging there for easy access. So that's how I hang my scarves. When it comes to shoes, as you can see behind me, I do like to keep my shoes in their boxes. Most of my shoes. The only shoes that I keep in a tub under my bed. Now we have, when we moved a couple of years ago, our new bed has drawers under the bed. Oh my God, absolutely amazing. But even before I had those, I had plastic roll-away tubs. And so the shoes that I might put in there are just like my really casual summer sandals, flip-flops, that sort of thing. But all my good shoes, my day-to-day work shoes, as you can see, I keep them all in boxes. Now, for some of you, that might mean that you think, oh, well, I can't, you know, if they're in boxes, maybe I can't see what I've got. But sometimes I will label a particular, so for example, you know, so this is a pair of, you know, red boots that is not in their box, but I've just put red boots on the end, so that's an old box. So I pretty much know all my shoes, and I can visually, in fact, I'll open them up like that, I can visually see them. So these are actually all my boots up here, and down here are all my pumps, flats, sort of day-to-day shoes, and then I've got a few little sneakers in a little shoe rack down there. The reason why I do keep my shoe boxes is because I think, well, I think it looks after your shoes. So I'm pretty good on shoes. I don't tend to wear shoes out, and I think keeping them in boxes keeps them clean, keeps them free of dust, but also keeps them in really good condition. So personally, I like to keep my shoes in boxes and just have them neatly stacked. And I do think, and that's the other thing, I like them to look neat and tidy. I think if you just chuck all your shoes in the bottom of the wardrobe, then it does become a bit of a mess. So shoes in their shoe boxes, that's what I do, and strategically placed around the wardrobe. Any little hidey hole will do. Belts, okay, so I might see if I can, what if we do this? If we spin this around this way, oh, there we go. Okay, so I told you that I like these hooks. So this would have just been, I don't know, IKEA, Target, or something like this. And I use this on the back of my wardrobe for my belts. The belts that I wear mostly, I don't wear a heap of belts these days, I've got to say, but the belts that I do wear, or that as I'm putting together outfit, I look there and I think, okay, well, I just complete the look with a belt. Then they're really accessible, ladies. That's what it's all about, having things that you can grab and go. So along here, I've got my favorite belts. I've got a whole lot of other belts that I don't wear, and again, they're in the tub under the bed in the spare room, so that when I need them, I know where they are. And the other thing I use these hooks for is my day-to-day accessories. So I have a few of my gold chains, my favorites that I pretty much wear most days. I actually just have them hanging there. So again, they're really easy to grab. And then I've just got a few more, so bracelets, literally just in a little cardboard box in my wardrobe. But again, right there, nice and accessible. So I've always hung my belts like that actually. And I just think having these hooks just gives you so many opportunities to just hang bits and pieces so that they're visible and that you can see. Okay, another question. We've covered footwear. As I said, how do you take care of your accessories and shoes storage wise? So I just think it's just about keeping things not too cluttered. That's basically what I do. Should you hang delicate fabrics together and separate from other pieces? No, not necessarily. I don't think so. I think it's more about coat hangers. So why don't we talk about that now? I'll show you my favorite coat hangers, which are these, I think they're called flocked coat hangers. I'm just trying to find something on a flocked hanger that I can just show you. Doesn't really matter, I suppose. So these are my favorite hangers that you can pretty much get everywhere now. I used to buy them from Big W because that was near where I used to live. I'm pretty sure I got my last lot from Target. And what I like about the flocked hangers is that they're non-slip. So they're really good for, so if I show you, like a silky type, okay, this is a good example. So this blouse that is asymmetric off the shoulder, you know, it's a bit of an odd fit. So that's just not going to stay on a normal coat hanger. But on the flocked hanger, it grips the fabric, so you can play around. The other reason I like these coat hangers is that they're nice and thin. So if you do have a lot of clothes in your wardrobe, like me, they're not going to take up too much space. So I like the idea of these for taking care of your clothing, gripping onto your silky pieces, but also just sitting really neatly and narrowly in your wardrobe. I'll talk about hangers for jackets and coats in a moment. The other thing I like about this particular hanger is this little extra hanger bit here, because then you can maybe, like sometimes I might put a scarf, or for example, if a top or something has got a little matching belt, then I might hang it over there. So it's just a nice little extra. So they're the hangers that I personally like to use, and over the years I've just replaced my hangers. And when I work with clients and edit their wardrobes, my tip is just, you don't have to go and change out all your hangers all at once, because it can be an expensive exercise. But every time you're at the supermarket or near a Kmart or Target or wherever you get them from, Costco, just grab a bunch of 10 and slowly weed out your bad coat hangers and pop in these. Now for coats and jackets, depends on the jacket. So if I've got a fairly lightweight blazer, and again I do this for space, to maximize my space, if I've got a reasonably lightweight blazer, okay, it's not overly heavy, then I will use one of the flocked hangers. The flocked hangers are quite delicate, and certainly over the years many of like these just sort of tend to break and they can come apart, but they're not expensive. So on my coat, my jackets, my blazers, if it's a fairly lightweight blazer, I will use this hanger to maximize space. But if it's a heavier jacket, a heavier blazer like this one and a few of my others, then I will use a nice wooden hanger, and that just helps to keep the shape of the shoulders, but also just, you know, basically carry the weight of the jacket. So jackets just depends on the weight of the jacket, will depend on what coat hanger I use. I've also had a question about, I'm not sure if it's in this one, it might be in a next one, but it's all the same topic, isn't it? How I also hang my skirts and trousers and hangers. So guys, skirts you should always hang on bulldog clips. And what I mean by that is these, okay? So it just means the skirt's not going to get a crease from being folded over a hanger. It just flows nicely in the wardrobe, and again, visually easy to see. The other thing I'm going to say about hanging skirts and really hanging anything, I've got a bit of a rule. My rule is only 2 items on one hanger. So for example, I actually don't think I've got any, oh here we go, so I'll show you. So I've got, I'm coming. Actually no, I don't. I've only got one. Actually I might have them in here. Here we go. Okay, so what I mean by that is on one bulldog clip hanger, a skirt hanger, a maximum of 2 skirts, okay? Once you start clipping 3 or 4 multiples, it just makes it harder to grab the one that you want. So you've got to make it, the point is to make it nice and easy for you. So 2 skirts maximum on a skirt hanger and 2 trousers. So equally, if you're hanging your trousers like that, it depends on the trouser for me, whether I sometimes, so for example, with these, I have them just hanging on their own, okay? But then sometimes, say all these little hooks are good for just quickly hanging things, but then sometimes, I'm here, depending on the trouser, I might just have them hanging like that. So here I've got my pink and my yellow, and just have them one side to the other so that I can see. But again, I mean, ideally, I would just have one pant on one hanger, but just for space-wise, it's a pretty small wardrobe. maximum of two. Maximum of two. And again, I like the flocked hangers for my trousers because they don't slip. So they work really, really well. That's pretty much how I suppose I hang. Let's just quickly have a look. Hang on. Let me review the questions and I'll be back. Okay, so the last couple of questions I had were about storing special occasion wear and storing knitwear and storing handbags. So let me see if I can answer those quickly for you. So with evening wear, I don't have heaps, but what I do is store any special occasion dresses. I store them in a suit bag, and I don't have them in my everyday wardrobe. I do have them in a spare room because they're not items that I need every day. But just keep in mind when you do store things in a suit bag, yes, it's great because they're not going to get dusty or damaged, but if you live in a warmer, more humid climate, it's probably a good idea just to air them out every now and then, or just make sure you've got a bit of air circulating so that things don't get moldy, because that's a little bit of a trap. As with my knitwear, so even though we were talking about coat hangers and coat hangers, like if the next IGT, by the way, will be about wardrobe organisation. This one's more about storage, and then the next one's actually going to be, I'll be showing you how I actually organise my wardrobe. So that will be the next one. But in terms of knitwear, whilst the flocked hangers are good, I personally prefer to fold knits, and I've got them in a drawer here. So I don't have them hanging. The items that I've got hanging are my shirts, my silks, my sort of, a few dressy tops, this sort of thing. Obviously I've got, dresses in here, but I have all my knitwear folded in these drawers. So that avoids getting that awful, sometimes it may happen to you at home, often when you're buying a jumper, a knit at a shop, and it's been sitting on the hanger, and you get those awful little bumps in the shoulder line, which are actually hard to get out. So you don't want to ruin the shoulder line of a knit by stretching it. And also because of the fabrication of a knit, it stretches, it pulls and hangs. So when it's sitting there hanging on a hanger, because it's a knit, it's got some flexibility in it, the knit can drop and you can sort of lose its shape. So personally, I'll show you, I would fold up, so all my jumpers, I basically just have folded in a drawer. My other knits that I would also have folded in a drawer are my merino skivvies and things like that. They don't need to be hanging. I also don't have the space to hang those. And then the last question that I will answer is, where do I, or how do I store my handbags? You're probably going to be a bit shocked to hear that I don't really have a foolproof method of storing my handbags. I don't keep them in their dust bags, which is probably very naughty of me, but I do keep them, again, in a cupboard to stop them getting dusty, but it's all about easy access again. So I actually have them kind of scattered in different areas of the house, be it a bag that I wear for work, so that I take when I'm styling, so that it's a crossbody. I can have all my glasses and water bottle and diary and all that sort of stuff in there. I actually have those very accessible near my desk, near my office, because they're the last thing that I grab. I've obviously got my outfit on, I've got chosen my lippy to go with my outfit, I've got my mask, and I grab my bag. So I actually just have a little cupboard next to my desk. But I've got a couple of other cupboards, so maybe what I will do is just show you, in fact, let me show you. So I've got a couple of ways I store my handbags, and again, it really comes down to easy access. So one way is literally just using the shelf above my coats and trench coats. So this is a little cupboard that is at the end of my hallway out of my bedroom. So much like a coat or a trench is that final piece that you pop on as you're running out the door, Same with the bag. So I have a look at what I'm wearing and I grab a bag that suits my outfit. So I just have them pretty much just stacked side by side. It's nothing overly fantastic. I don't use my dust bags, which is probably very naughty of me. But as I said, it's all about that ease of seeing exactly what's in your wardrobe to make getting dressed really easy, seeing what you've got and getting ready for the day seamlessly and running out the door. And I'm going to show you one more way that I store and display my bags. You've already seen that I'm a bit of a fan of the old hook. I'll show you one more. So, you know, I told you I like a good hook. So I've got this at the front door. There's my front door. And this is where I have more of my bun bags, my caps, my walking caps, and just a few sort of little bags that are quite nice to have on display. So these, again, I've got my brolly here somewhere, there it is, a face mask, but again, just really easy to grab and go. So I hope you've enjoyed episode 1 of this Ask the Stylist inside the wardrobe. Next episode, I'll be covering off more how to organize your wardrobe. Do I organise my wardrobe in categories or colours? You'll have to wait and see. All right, we'll see you next time.